Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Gonna be giving you my player ratings from our 0-0 draw with Real Sociedad in the Europa League round of 32 second leg. Dean Henderson, I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10. Dean Henderson had nothing to do in the game. I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number one because he has got that experience behind him. He endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United and he's done well in the games he's played in this season. Dean Henderson has got a lot of development in him. Before the start of this season, he signed a 6-year contract with Manchester United, so he committed his future with the club. Now, Dean Henderson has threatened to quit Manchester United if he's not assured the number one role. Sky Sports recently said that Dortmund and Tottenham were leading the race for Henderson. Chelsea and West Ham have also been interested. We've revealed our asking price, it's £40 million. Solskjaer admitted earlier on this season that it's becoming more and more difficult to leave Dean Henderson out of the side, and Solskjaer's been advised to give Dean Henderson a run in goal. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he's prepared to sell either De Gea or Dean Henderson in the summer. I think it should be De Gea. And we're actually looking at Donnarumma from AC Milan as a possible replacement for De Gea. But De Gea will remain our number one for at least this season. This is De Gea's 10th season at the football club. So he's been a long servant and he's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. If we sell De Gea in the summer, we will get from between 50 to 60 million pounds. And Solskjaer's already warned De Gea that his number one jersey is under threat. A few years ago, De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. But in the last couple of years, he's made calamitous mistakes, and reflecting on that, he's become a liability. Like I say, 6 out of 10 for Dean Henderson. And Wan-Bissaka, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. He looked lethargic, did Wan-Bissaka yesterday night. He got in some good crossing positions, but he was quite wasteful. And Wan-Bissaka has enjoyed good games this season, where he's got forward well, he's got into good positions, he's put some good crosses into the box and defensively, and Wan-Bissaka has always been superb. Victor Lindelof, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought he enjoyed a good game. Obviously, Victor Lindelof committed a foul. That's what disallowed Axel Tuanzebe's goal. But apart from that, I thought he did well. As you all know, I've got my strong reservations about Victor Lindelof. Eric Bay, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. A very good, majestic performance by Eric Bay. He's a very, very good centre-half. My only element of concern about Eric Bay is that he is injury prone. So in that aspect, he is a liability. Bay's been at the club now for quite a few years. So 7 out of 10 for him. Alex Tellez, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Defensively, he was good. He put some good crosses into the box. I just think Alex Tellez needs to get forward more, because Tellez doesn't get as forward as well as Luke Shaw does. But Tellez has done well in, some of the games he has played in. He obviously hasn't played nowhere near as much as I expected. Fred, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. He looked quite energetic, did Fred, and he made some good runs into the box a few times. But he wasn't brilliant, but I think Fred's really, really improved as a Manchester United player. Nemanja Matic, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. I don't think he had a bad game. Bruno Fernandes, I'm going to give him a 8 out of 10. Bruno Fernandes hit the crossbar in the game. And he just had a very, very good game, Bruno Fernandes. And I'm actually surprised that Bruno Fernandes started. I thought he might have been rested. Dan James, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought he enjoyed a pretty good game, Dan James. He looked good in the attacking third of the pitch. He also had a good chance in the game. But yeah, Daniel James was the one that gave away the penalty. Daniel James has been playing a lot recently, so he's starting to get back into the team now more often. Mason Greenwood, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Greenwood had a slow start, but as the game went on, he grew into the game and he made some nice moves, and I think he did have a good chance in the game. Anthony Martial, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Martial did quite well. His work rate was quite good. I think he had a few shots as well. But it was just good to see him play better, because for the vast majority of this season, he has been out of form, Martial. And he's been criticised a lot, but Solskjaer's backed him to rediscover his form. We brought substitutions on in the game. We saw Axel Tuanzebe come on. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. He did very, very well when he came on. Like I said, scored, but his goal was disallowed. Axel Tuanzebe was playing in an unfamiliar role. It's a shame that his goal was disallowed. Tuanzebe hardly plays for us now. We saw Brandon Williams come on. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. There's a few Man United fans that are saying Brandon Williams should go out on loan. Marcus Rashford, he surprisingly came on. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. He did well when he came on. His passing was good and he put some good crosses into the box. So yes, 7 out of 10 for Rashford. We saw Shaw Tyre come on. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. By the way, Solskjaer says that Shaw Tyre has a bright future and he'll play in front of Man United fans. By the way, Shaw Tyre has become the youngest ever United player to appear in a European competition. Shaw Tyre did make his first team debut in the 3-1 win against Newcastle, because he came on in that. And Imad Diallo Traore came on, and I'll give him a 6 out of 10. It was Imad Diallo Traore's home debut. So that is your player ratings from the 0-0 draw with Real Sociedad. It was 4-0 on aggregate because we did beat Real Sociedad 4-0 in the first leg in Turin. It was goals from Bruno Fernandes, he scored 2. Rashford scored and Daniel James scored, and it was a very, very good performance. But got to say, it was a very, very boring game yesterday night. And I was surprised at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, I was surprised that I started on Wan-Bissaka. I was surprised that he played Bruno Fernandes. I was surprised that I didn't start Axel Tuanzebe. There you go. Real Sociedad, they're not a brilliant team, but they're a pretty good team. I think they're like sitting 5th in La Liga. Their current manager is Emmanuel Alguacil. Obviously, I know a few of their players. You know, they've got Adnan Januzaj. Obviously, he said prior to the first leg that he's got nothing to prove when he comes up against Man United. They've got David Silva. They got him on a free last year from Man City. They've got Carlos Fernandes. They brought him in back in January. He's actually out with injury. They've got Monreal. They've got that Normand. I think Normand was suspended for yesterday night's game. Solskjaer has issued a challenge to our squad after the 0-0 draw. By the way, Solskjaer has said that the culture is improving at Manchester United. Yesterday night, there was no Edison Cavani, there was no Donny van der Beek, and there was no Scott McTominay, because they're injured at the moment. Solskjaer said he's hopeful that that trio will be available for the game against Chelsea on Sunday, but now it's saying they are a doubt. We know obviously Paul Pogba is still out. Solskjaer has confirmed Paul Pogba is going to be out for a few more weeks because he has been out with a thigh injury. But the Europa League is a priority for Manchester United. It's a chance of us getting a trophy on the board. And like I've said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer must win a trophy as Man United manager to avoid the sack, because we haven't won a trophy since 2017. And a club of our stature need to be winning trophies. We can win the Europa League, you know. We got to the semi-finals last season. We lost 2-1 to Sevilla. And we won the Europa League back in 2017 under the Jose Mourinho, where we beat Ajax in the final 2-0. The FA Cup's also a priority for us because that's a chance for us getting a trophy on the board. You know, Solskjaer did say after our 3-1 win against Newcastle in the league that we are still in the title race despite the 10-point gap. He said the exact same thing after our 1-1 draw with West Brom, that we are still in the title race and we will not settle for second in the title race. That's just Solskjaer playing mind games though. You know, we're not going to win the Premier League this season. I think we'll win another title at some point. You know, maybe next season, depending on how our recruitment is in this year's summer transfer window. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so top four is our aim in the league this season, and I can almost assure we will finish in the top four. But yeah, this year's summer transfer window is very, very important for Manchester United, and it's the biggest in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career, because we do need to make signings. A centre-back and a forward are our two priorities. Our transfer budget has been revealed. It's not what a lot of Man United fans expected. Solskjaer's actually confirmed that he's got the backing of the owners to get the players he wants to recommend in. The board must back Ole in the summer transfer window, because I don't think Solskjaer is being backed enough at the moment. You know, so far he's endured 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. And Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ole. And Woodward did say towards the end of last year he will back Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. But the board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years, and that's the main explanation why a lot of United fans have criticised the board. But Solskjaer still made good signings. You know, he spent over £200 million. You know, in the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January of last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odion Ighalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo Traore. But as yet, he hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in. So hopefully that changes in the summer. It was a disappointing January transfer window for us, because we only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. But Solskjaer did say a few times during the January transfer window that he wasn't expecting any signings. But there has been a lot of players on our agenda. You know the news on Jules Koundé from Sevilla. We are unwilling to meet Jules Koundé's £68 million release clause, but we are still interested. It said the other week that we are considered the favourites to sign Jules Koundé, and we are prepared to pay £61 million for him, and apparently he is our top target. His performances this season for Sevilla have been outstanding. And he is a centre-half, and we need someone to go alongside Maguire in our back line. It recently said Solskjaer has a 4-man centre-back shortlist. You know the news on Erling Haaland. Solskjaer said in his press conference prior to the game against Sociedad in the second leg that he's keeping in touch with Erling Haaland. It would be good to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reunite with Erling Haaland. You know, Solskjaer knows the player well, because Solskjaer was the one that gave Erling Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 at Molde. Back in December 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. Solskjaer recently said he was following Erling Haaland's progress, because he made a new Erling Haaland transfer admission. Now, Sky Sports recently said that Dortmund will sell Haaland for £78 million in the summer. His agent Mini Oriola has said there's only 4 Premier League clubs that can afford him. And Erling Haaland is demanding a 70 million a year contract. Since his arrival at Dortmund, he has been a revelation. He's been at Dortmund over a year. He's got a contract with Dortmund till 2024. Dortmund paid just £17 million for him. He does have a £68 million release clause, but it doesn't become active until next year. And obviously, you know the news on Jadon Sancho. There's still a chance we'll sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window because he's going to be available for a reduced fee. A few weeks ago, £60 million was quoted. Sportsbill said that we are still very interested in Jadon Sancho, but the Athletic said we paused our transfer pursuit of Sancho due to the progress of Mason Greenwood. So yeah, in the summer, I'm expecting us to make 2, 3, maybe even 4 signings. I'm expecting more players to leave Man United in the summer. Like I've said, there's a good chance that Juan Mata will leave the club in the summer. Solskjaer said in his press conference prior to the game against Sociedad that he's not surprised that Juan Mata is linked to a move away from the club. There's 3 Italian clubs that are interested in him. Juan Mata's current contract expires in the summer. These and options trigger his contract for a further year. Juan Mata doesn't really play a lot now. Earlier on this season, he rejected an £18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. But Juan Mata's had a good career at Man United. He's been at the club over 6 years. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. The element of concern about Mata, he has lost that yard of pace. I think there's a good chance that we could sell Matic in the summer. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but he still gets his chances, Matic. And I've always had my strong reservations about Matic because he's always been a slow player. But he's had some good games to his credit. You know, Matic has been at the club now almost 4 years. We got Matic in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Phil Jones, I'm expecting him to leave this year. I'm surprised he didn't leave in the January transfer window, but Solskjaer did say that Jones is going to be given a second chance. Jones doesn't get in R11, he's been out with injury for over a year. This is Phil Jones' 10th season at the football club. He's been a long servant. He's the only outfield player that's still here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. A lot of United fans are saying that we should offload Lindelof in the summer. Do you think we should sell Anthony Martial in the summer? Whether we sell him or not, I don't know, but I can assure that he doesn't have a long-term future at Manchester United, Anthony Martial. Like Solskjaer said, he's prepared to sell De Gea or Henderson in the summer. There's still a chance we'll sell Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window. We're actually hopeful that Paul Pogba will sign a new contract. Solskjaer came out earlier on this season and said that Paul Pogba could sign a new contract. He said Paul Pogba's happy at Man United and we have held talks regarding his future. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on Paul Pogba's contract, so he's under contract with the club until June 2022. But he has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been linked with a move to Real Madrid. He's been linked with a move to PSG, and he's been linked with a move to Juventus, his former club. Said the other week that we revealed our asking price for Paul Pogba. It's £100 million. Mini Oriola, his agent, he's desperate to get Paul Pogba out of the club this summer. Mini Oriola's been criticised a few times. and he doesn't have a good relationship with Man United. He recently said that he was working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. And back in December, he made an announcement regarding Paul Pogba, and obviously Solskjaer was furious with Mini Oriola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. It came out he said back in January that Paul Pogba was considering making a U-turn at the club, and he contradicted his agent Mini Oriola for the second time. In recent months, we've been getting the best out of Paul Pogba. He's been enjoying the best period in his Man United career. But he's our most expensive sign at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. So there you go. I am Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. I don't know if he's a long-term manager for Man United. Time will tell. But I can assure Solskjaer is going to be given at least another season at the football club. You know, this is his second full season at the moment. Obviously, Solskjaer's being criticised a lot as Man United manager. Because obviously we have endured bad periods under him. We was poor at the first part of this season. He was lucky not to be sacked to the first part of this season. We was poor at the first part of last season because we endured our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. But I think he's made very, very good progress in the last year or so. You know, there has been some games where Solskjaer's got the best out of the team. There's certain players that are improving. Performances have improved. Solskjaer's decision making in some games is good, but there's obviously some games as well where his decision making has been very, very poor. So Solskjaer's decision making needs to be good persistently. I said to you, didn't I? His decision making is one of my biggest concerns. We've got a very, very good away record. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year, which is good. We're unbeaten in our last 9 away games in all competitions. You know, Solskjaer's got us to the Europa League last 16, deserves credit for that. He's got us to the FA Cup quarter-finals. Going to be a tough game against Leicester. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season, lost 2-0 to Man City, and Ole did well last season in his first full season because he got us to 3 semi-finals, got us 3rd place, and he got us qualification for the Champions League. And we are sitting second in the Premier League, and shame we're not going to win the league, but no one was expected us to be second at this stage with how poor we was at the first part of this season. It just shows you some good results can change the complexion of things. And Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in. I'm expecting Ole to sign a new contract at Man United. It probably will be at the end of the season. Now, it recently said Solskjaer's future is in doubt because he admitted that nobody spoke to him over a new contract. But it said we will wait until the end of the season to begin contract talks with Solskjaer. It says we could offer him a new 2-year deal on one condition, and that's if we qualify for the Champions League. Ole is into the final 18 months of his current contract. He signed a 3-year contract, didn't he, when he got the job permanently back in March 2019. Ole has been Manchester United manager over 2 years. So reflecting now on his been at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience. He hasn't got that proven pedigree as a manager, but obviously before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. But whether Solskjaer succeeds as Man United manager or not, we'll still always adore him because he's a club legend. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. I've got to say, Ole's our best manager since Ferguson. because we've had periods where we've seen consistency under Ollie and we didn't see consistency for a while. We appointed Ollie in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. By the way, your Chelsea Man United preview is coming up later on today. So anyway guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.